of some of the stories you've read or been read to as a child, it's safe to say you probably imagine a lot of pictures. Illustrations are often included in children's literacy for a variety of reasons. They have a unique power to add to literature and teach children. For the next several minutes, we will discuss the power and the importance of illustrations. In their article, Why We're Still in Love with Picture Books, Even Though They're Supposed to Be Dead, by Alan Johnston and Marla Fraze, great points of the power of illustrations are brought to the reader's attention. For starters, pictures tell the story for children who cannot read. Pictures speak to them and they understand what the pictures are saying. They are not stressed. They are privately and independently learning how stories work. Another interesting point that was made, they don't need to be taught this skill. We know this to be true as children are naturally curious. Johnston and Fraze go on to say, they study pictures for story, meaning, character, setting, plot, and motivation for a parallel, counterpoint, or secondary narrative. They notice everything. When you understand that pictures alone are doing this much for the young reader, the importance of illustrations drastically increases. The authors also mention a snippet from Where the Wild Things Are, where a piece of cake is left on the table, but is not discussed in the actual text. They explain things like this are found by children that study the picture. Examples like this are great opportunities for children to grow in these areas that they might not be able to while reading alone, mainly making connections and conclusions based off of evidence. The Role of Illustrations During Children's Reading by Karen Feathers and Poonmin Ara discuss another strength of illustrations in children's books, their ability to help readers figure hard words out. One way the children used illustrations was to support oral reading. For example, Sarah used the illustration when she encountered difficulty with donuts. She looked at the illustration of the donuts and then successfully read the word. These uses of illustrations are possible because of the interrelationship between the verbal and visual text. Feathers and Ara also note the ability pictures have to explain things about characters, both their feelings and their physical characteristics. Illustrations not only depict characters, they also reveal the feelings of characters through facial expressions and body posture. Though the text may not directly explain a character's feelings, personality, or etc., often we come to that understanding through the pictures alone. An example I'd like to talk about of a well-known picture book, Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. This picture book may not have the most detailed pictures nor a variety of color, it's definitely just muted in tones, but the message of the story is still effectively communicated through the illustrations. In Chapbooks Showcase Your Work by Rita Moe describes chapbooks as almost any small pamphlet or book. But she says in her article she uses the term here, however, to refer to small books of poetry containing the work of one author. Relationships with illustrations is a bit different for chapbooks because some of them do not even have illustrations, and often the ones that do don't have color and they're a little bit simpler than picture books, but there are still benefits for these books. They are small books, so that's helpful for readers who aren't exactly ready for lengthier books or chapter books, and it's a great introduction to poetry. The Story of Tom Thumb by John Ashton is a chapbook with many elements which make it a good choice for particular readers. The compelling storyline will keep the reader's attention, but since it is relatively short in nature, it is also good for those who are not quite ready for lengthy chapter books. Another type of books, though not specifically a picture book, would be alpha books. The power and ability to teach children with alpha books is monumental. While different types of books offer various things, alpha books cater specifically to young readers and often give specific instruction for children learning letters and their sounds. Perry Nodelman quotes Cooper's work from 1996 in regards to alpha books. Perhaps the most valuable thing about alpha books is that they expose the reader to the sounds of the language and show both the visual and auditory connection between letters and words. Alphabet books provide opportunities for readers to develop and enhance identification skills, to encourage letter recognition, to acquire and understand new words, to promote the mastery of letter forms, and to provide a variety of other learning experiences. Within the context of alpha books, children are exposed to skills such as sequencing, matching, classification, discrimination of likeness and differences, rhyming, recall, memory, drawing conclusions, and following directions. All of these are important life skills that lead to literacy. The alpha book A Apple Pie by Kate Greenaway is a great example of a simple lesson on letters while still telling a story. Each letter is used for some step of making, sharing, or eating an apple pie, but you definitely get the lesson there that you're showing each letter to the child what it sounds like, a word that would go with that letter, etc. Thanks for watching my presentation. I hope I have effectively expressed and enforced the importance of illustrations in children's literature. Following this, I will have a list of all my references and the books that were mentioned. Thanks!